for students of DCCP. In the third semester, we have punctuation. So it's a very big topic, and we cannot complete it in a single class. So in 2 or 3 sessions, we are going to learn about punctuation. So now I will give you one small paragraph. A small paragraph is displayed. You go through the paragraph, read the paragraph. I'll wait for a few minutes. You read the paragraph. I hope you have read the small paragraph. What did you understand? Was it easy to understand? I'll go through it once. During July, my cousin and I went to Mumbai. Sorry, it is a mistake there. My cousin and I went to Mumbai. I loved going. One of my favorite rides was horse riding in the beach. My cousin accompanied me. What an amazing ride. Have you ever been there? Do you like horse riding? So what did you observe in that paragraph? Are there any punctuation marks in the paragraph? No. Is the paragraph properly punctuated? I think no, there are no full stops, no commas, no question marks. There are some questions and there are one exclamation mark is also needed. That's not there. Some capitals are missing. So one of my favorite rides, maybe one capital is needed. So and a capital is missing. So if the paragraph is properly not punctuated, so for us it is very hard to comprehend. It is strenuous job, very laborious job to comprehend the paragraph. So that's the importance of punctuation. In writing, if something is punctuated properly, what the idea present in the paragraph or what the writer wants to convey, it is properly conveyed, it is properly communicated. Effective communication takes place if the paragraph is properly punctuated, or if the written form, whatever you have written, that writing is properly punctuated. If it is not punctuated, it is very hard to comprehend, and sometimes the essence of the meaning or the essence of the sentence or the meaning of the sentence may be changed if the punctuation is not done properly. We will look into it with one example also. So let us look at the importance of punctuation. Why punctuation is very important. A punctuation is a mark or sign used in writing to divide text into phrases and sentences and make the meaning clear. See, it is a mark. Sometimes it will be in the form of a capital letter. Letters are also, that is also a punctuation. So it's a mark or sign. This helps to divide our writing into small phrases. Sometimes words are also punctuated, uh, so into small phrases, in order to make the meaning clear. The main aim of the punctuation is to make the meaning clear. If the meaning is clear, then automatically the reader understands it properly. And it is very important in formal writing. So you should not avoid punctuation marks in formal writing. Okay? Why? Because whatever you want to convey, it is conveyed properly only with the punctuation marks. So that's why try to use proper punctuation marks. We use punctuation marks, but sometimes we may avoid it, or sometimes we may not use them properly. So try to use the punctuation marks properly. Proper punctuation is very essential in the formal writing. Now let us look at two sentences. I'll show you the two sentences. Observe the following sentences. Yes. What is the difference in the sentence? In both the sentences, there is some difference. What is the difference in the two sentences? I will go to the first one. Woman without her man is nothing. See, there is a comma after woman, and without her man is separated again and is nothing. In the second one, second line, woman, there is an exclamation mark. Without her, man is nothing. So the words in both the sentences are same. No extra word is added in both the sentences. Only the thing in those sentences is there is an addition of punctuation marks, different punctuation marks in both the sentences. One exclamation is used somewhere, commas are used. Okay, and in the first case, look at what the meaning for the first one. When you put a comma, woman comma, without her man is nothing. So the meaning conveyed in this sentence is, woman is nothing unless there is a man. Woman is nothing unless there is a man. That means woman always needs the help of a man. She always needs the support of a man. This is the meaning conveyed in the first sentence. The next one, woman without her man is nothing. Without her man is nothing. So in the second case, man is nothing unless there is a woman. Here it means man is needed. Man needs a woman to grow. Man needs the support of the woman. This is the meaning of the second sentence. So see, with the difference in the punctuation marks, with the change in the punctuation marks, the total meaning is changed. In the first case, man is powerful. In the second case, woman is powerful. So this is, now look at another sentence also. Let's eat grandpa. Let's eat grandpa. Both are same. Both the sentences are same. Only in the second case, we used a comma after it. So this comma, a small comma, change, if it is not put, the total meaning of the sentence has changed. Both have a different meaning. In the first case, look at, let's eat grandpa. That is, grandpa is going to be eaten. Let us think the children are speaking. If they say, let's eat grandpa, that means they are going to eat the grandpa. Like a fruit, like a vegetable we eat, they are eating the grandpa. This is the meaning of the first sentence. In case of the second sentence, let's eat grandpa. So, they are calling the grandpa to eat. Okay, they are calling the grandpa to eat. So the meaning has totally changed. There he is being eaten, here we are calling him to eat. So in the first case, it's poor grandpa. So I think now you have understood the importance of punctuation marks. We have taken two examples. The first a paragraph, and now here a slide that shows how the meaning changes. There are several sentences like this. If the punctuation is different, then the meaning changes. There are several sentences. If you can Google it if you want. Okay, but in the next classes, in the end I will give you it as exercise to change the punctuation to get different meanings. Okay, so now see the importance of punctuation. Now let's come to the types of punctuation. So what are the various kinds of punctuation? The first is end punctuation. The second type is internal punctuation. And the third type is word punctuation. So now, what are the various types of end punctuation? There are three: full stop, a question mark, and an exclamation. So a full stop, a question mark, and an exclamation mark, where do they come? Think for a second. Where do we write them? We write them at the end of the sentence. Okay, at the end of a sentence. A full stop is put at the end of a sentence. A question mark is put at the end of a question and it's the complete sentence. Exclamation also after the complete exclamation. After the total sentence, we put an exclamation. So we are calling them as end punctuations because they are appearing at the end of the sentence. All the three. Right? The second is internal punctuation. Why are we calling this as internal punctuation? One can easily guess. Once we know end punctuation, we can easily guess about internal punctuation. Internal punctuation is used in between the sentences, not at the end of the sentence, but in between the sentences. So now look at the punctuation marks that come in between the sentences. Semicolon, colon, comma, quotation marks. So they come in between the sentences. That's why we are calling them as internal punctuation. Now come to the next one, word punctuation. Even we punctuate the words. If you look at the words like Radhas, there will be a punctuation mark. So words are also punctuated, and the marks that are used for the punctuation of the words are called word punctuation. So it is apostrophe, the one is apostrophe, hyphen, and capitals. We capitalize the letters. Okay. So that is writing the capital letters. So these are word punctuations. So we will look at the first one is end punctuation, that comes at the end of a sentence. Internal punctuation in between the sentence, and word punctuation, it is punctuated only for the words. Words are only punctuated. And while explaining one by one, we will look at the symbols also. Now we will look at the first punctuation mark. This everyone knows, full stop, or it is also called as period. What do we call? Period. Some people call it as period and some as full stop. Full stop is most commonly used. Period is called in American English. In the American English, this full stop is called period. So its full stop is a dot. You can see it in the brackets, a dot. All of you know, where do we use this full stop? The common answer is at the end of a sentence. Yeah, that's a common answer. But to be very particular, at the end of declarative and imperative sentences. For interrogative sentences, we use a question mark. So that's why we should be very specific. That's why we are using the word declarative and imperative sentences. I think you all know there are 4 types of sentences: declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. Declarative are statements, imperatives are orders or commands, interrogatives are question, and exclamatory are exclamations. This is a brief account. So at the end of the declarative and imperative sentences, we use a full stop. We won't use full stop for the interrogative and exclamatory sentences. Let's take the example. Come here. We'll put a full stop. Naveen is a university student. In the end, we put a full stop. Many sentences. It makes a great pause in the sentence. A full stop. Okay. The first one most of us know. Now come to the second point. After abbreviations. So when the words are abbreviated, we use full stops. For example, you are the students of DCCP. When you write DCCP, it's a short form of Diploma in Computer and Commercial Practice. D, full stop C, full stop C, full stop C, and P full stop. So DCCP, we punctuate it like that. Now let us take MA. Most of the people study the degree MA. They will acquire a degree called MA, BSc, BCom. Okay. So in those cases also they are abbreviations of a longer word. MA is the abbreviation for Master of Arts. So M full stop, A full stop. For BSc, Bachelor of Science, B full stop, SC full stop. So for all the abbreviations we use full stops. LLB, L full stop, L full stop, B full stop. MBBS, M full stop, B full stop, B full stop, S. It's an abbreviation for Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery. Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. So that's why we call MBBS. So it's a short form for that. So that's why we put full stops in between. So for all the abbreviations we use full stops. And to separate hour from minute and date from month and year. To separate hours from minutes and minutes from seconds also. Okay. 7 hours, 7 full stop 45 AM, A dot M dot. AM is also an abbreviation, so we use A dot M dot. Okay, so 7:45. It's a time. When you are writing time, we are using a full stop. So that's why we use full stop when you separate minutes from the hours. And then in the date, see, dates also full stop is used. What is the date today? Think some date. Let us think 8th July 2020. Let's think it. 8th July 08.07 full stop. Dot here means full stop. 2020. So to separate dates also, to separate the month from the year and the day from the month, we use full stops. So these are the three basic uses of a full stop. Now look at the another one. This is very important. When is the full stop omitted? Tell me, when is the full stop omitted? Now look at the example. After example, I have written a word. Read out the word. Read out that. It's not a word, it's a short form of something. We generally read it as UNESCO. 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 But not UNESCO. Okay, UNESCO. It is read as a single word. In the same way, take the example of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The short form is NATO, but we won't say NATO. We use it like NATO, NATO, NATO. So it is spelled as a complete word, NATO. We are pronouncing it as a word. So in such cases, we avoid the full stops. Now I think you have got a doubt about acronyms. What is an acronym? When something is written with the initial letters of the word. See, united, U we have taken, the initial letter of united. Nations, N we have taken. Then United Nations Educational, E we have taken. From the word educational, the first letter of the word. Educational. Scientific, we have taken S. Then cultural, C. Organization. So this is the acronym. When we pick out the first letters of and make an abbreviation, those are called acronyms. In the same way, NATO, North N, Atlantic A, T for treaty, and organization O. We have picked out the first letters of the word, so that is an acronym. So in the acronyms, when they are spelled as a complete word, we will omit the full stops. Now another example I will give you. VAT, value added tax. But for GST, it's not a complete word. Here don't think of it. Okay, GST. Now in the newspaper headlines, you don't find any full stops. You just go and check out a newspaper, there won't be any full stops. And the next thing when we omit a full stop is when the capital letter in the abbreviation doesn't stand for the complete word. So TV, it doesn't stand for the complete word. We are taking T and we are taking from a single letter, we are bringing two letters out. So it is not a complete word. So in such cases also, we are not using a full stop. Here in these three cases, we omit a full stop. Okay. Now look at the next punctuation mark. That is question mark. So at the end of an interrogative sentence, we use a question mark. What is an interrogative sentence? A sentence that asks a question. Where the sentence is in the form of a question. It is called interrogative sentence. And all the interrogative sentence, all the questions in our textbook, most of the questions, we will find question marks in the end. So those are all interrogative sentences. After question, we put a question mark. This everyone knows. But now come to the next one. After question tags are similar words. So after a question tag is a small question used for confirmation. Okay, which has a helping verb and a pronoun. Sometimes a helping verb, not and a pronoun. I'll give one example. He likes music. Doesn't he? Doesn't he is the question tag. This is generally used for the confirmation. So in the first year syllabus we have come across these question tags. I think there is no need of explaining in detail. So after the question tag, we always use the question mark. Then after elliptical questions, here I have given you two examples of the elliptical questions. The first is doing well. If it is easy, actually the question is, are you doing well? Or Is it doing well? It is the proper form of a question. But instead of asking such a lengthy question, sometimes we ask in short, doing well. Then the person understands that it is a question, he is asking something. So these are called elliptical questions. After elliptical questions, we use a question mark. Then next is another elliptical question we have got is in trouble. In trouble means we understand that the person is asking a question. If something a conversation is going on and is in trouble, so automatically it is understood that it is a question and the person answers. So in such cases also, elliptical questions where the question is understood, there you can put a question. So these are the three uses of a question. Where do we omit a question mark? Generally, in the indirect speech, after the question, we omit a question mark. A question mark is, again I repeat, a question mark is not used at the end of an indirect question. So in the first year, you have come across direct speech and indirect speech. So in the direct speech questions, in the direct speech, if it is a question, we convert them into indirect speech by using the words asked, inquired, something. So there the question mark is avoided. This you have to remember. Now come to the third important punctuation mark. The third important punctuation mark is exclamation mark. So after an emotional expression of joy, sorrow, anger, surprise. So when there is an emotional expression, there we avoid full stops and we put a exclamation mark, because to show the feelings, when you are showing some strong feelings, there we use a exclamatory mark. The feeling can be of joy, sorrow, that is sadness, anger, or surprise. Now I will give one example for this. How fabulous the movie is. How fabulous the movie is. It's an exclamation. There is a strong feeling generated inside. So there we put an exclamatory mark. Oh, what a nasty experience it was. Or what a bad experience it was. So it has some strong feeling. So in these two cases, we put a exclamatory mark. Not only after the sentences, we put exclamatory mark after the words also. One word exclamations. Like, hurrah! We won the game. Hurrah is sudden feeling. Generally we use in English. Alas! It's also a feeling. We use he did. Or pity. She lost her father. After pity, we use a punctuation mark, that is exclamatory mark. So after the words, that has a strong feeling, we use exclamatory mark. The third use, after an imperative sentence charged with strong feeling. See, after imperative sentences, in the first beginning we have learned that we use a full stop. It's a general sentence. But if it is with strong feeling, like shut up, it's a strong feeling, so we are putting an exclamatory mark. If it is not with strong feeling, that is shut up, then it is a full stop. Shut up, that's an exclamatory mark. So this is the difference. So for imperative sentences, if the feeling is strong, then you need to put an exclamatory mark. So we have learnt about the three important punctuation marks. The first is full stop, the second is question mark, the third is exclamation. We will have a brief look at it. Full stop is used at the end of declarative and imperative sentences, after abbreviation and initials, with initials also, okay, and from separating the date from month and month from the year, and also from in the time, to separate hour from minutes, we use full stops. Where it is omitted means in acronyms, when they are used as a single word, and in the in the capital letters, in the abbreviations, where they won't stand for a complete word, and also in the newspaper headlines. This is something about full stop. Question mark always after a question, after a question tag, and also after elliptical questions. Where it is avoided, in the indirect questions, if the question is written in the indirect speech. Then exclamatory mark after strong expressions, after one word strong expressions also, and in the imperative sentences where the sentence shows a strong feeling. So this is a briefing about all the three marks of punctuation, end punctuation. Now I will give you a small exercise now for you. Take a few minutes. Punctuate the following with full stop, or question mark, or exclamation mark. I will give you the answers. Just note it down. You go for the exercise. Okay. Will you show me the book? Question marks should come. Why? Because it's a question. How intelligent you are. It has a strong feeling. So, an exclamatory mark. You like English, don't you? Don't you is a question tag, and after a question tag, we use a question mark. Stop the bus for me. A full stop is recommended here. It is raining now. Here also I recommend a full stop because it's not exclamation there. Then next, doing work. It's an elliptical question. Put a question mark and do all the 6 now. Take a few minutes and look at those sentences, what is needed. Okay, now look at the answers. Doing work, it's an elliptical question, so question mark. Get lost, I need no explanation. Get lost, it is charged with a strong feeling, so after get lost you can put a exclamatory mark. And I need no explanation, in the end you can put a full stop. What is your question? A question mark. What is your question? How fabulous the movie is. There we need an exclamation mark. What an idea. What in some advertisement comes. Okay, what an idea, Sarji. Like that. So there it's an exclamation. What an idea. Somebody surprising about the idea. So we put an exclamation mark. I went to SBI Bank. A full stop at the end. Hurrah, we won the match. Hurrah! It's a strong feeling. So that's why we need an exclamation mark there. We won the match. A full stop at the end. So this is a small exercise you have done. Now look at another exercise. Punctuate the following with full stop, question mark or exclamation mark. We have read this at the beginning of the lesson, the same. Punctuate this paragraph. Okay, I think the punctuation is completed. Now look at the answer. So, in the question, after in the earlier paragraph, there was no punctuation mark after Mumbai. So, here we end the sentence. That's why we are giving a full stop there. During July, my cousin and I went to Mumbai. Then, I loved going there. I loved going there, it means. So, this is also a complete sentence, and in the end, we are putting a full stop. One of my favorite rides was horse riding in the beach. So there he rode many things, some swings or whatever it is. So one of his favorite rides there was a horse, and it is the end of a complete sentence. So that's why we put a full stop there. These are all statements, declarative sentences, all the three. So that's why we are putting a full stop there. My cousin accompanied me. This is also a declarative sentence. We are putting a full stop at that. So he remembers of the ride and he says, what an amazing ride. So this is an exclamation mark. So it is charged with a sudden feeling, a feeling of joy. Okay. So that's why there we are using an exclamatory mark. Have you ever been there? So this is a question. Are you there? It's a question. So we are using a question mark in the end. Do you like horse riding? So this is also a question. That's why we are using a question mark then. This was a very simple exercise. Hope you have done well. And now, with this exercise and learning about punctuation, we will end the class here. And in the next class, we will learn about the internal punctuation marks. This is, in this class, a part of the punctuation marks is covered. We have covered just the end punctuation. In the next class, we will deal with internal punctuation marks. With this, we will end the class here. Thank you for your cooperation and patient listening.